Director of Digital News Media here at AFCEA International. And I'm so excited I get to sit down today with Veronica Snell, who's a great resource at AFCEA headquarters, and she's our Emerging Leaders Coordinator. So I'm so excited for everybody to meet you and understand your role. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah. So hi, my name is Veronica Snell, as Kimberly said, and I run the Emerging Leader Program here at AFCEA. And so the Emerging Leader Program is for our AFCEA members under the age of 40, and I coordinate between all of the different chapter Emerging Leader programs that we have and just kind of build the program up.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I was so excited when you were coming into the role because it's such a great community, and obviously
Absolutely.
Doing the podcast to reach emerging leaders
Yes.
and to have somebody in that role is so great.
Absolutely.
Can we start at the kind of, not beginning, but I always love to ask people kind of how they made their way in case
Yeah.
it helps anybody. But kind of what did you figure out in college what you wanted to study?
Yeah.
And kind of where did you go after that?
Absolutely. So I went to school in upstate New York, and I was kind of lost when I first started college, right? I knew I loved working with people, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. A lot of people know they want to go straight into business. I didn't. So I was like, I'm going to do social work because I love helping people. And I was a social worker for a little bit, but that's tough work.
Yeah.
Very tough work. So then I still wanted to help people. So I started working for other nonprofits. I worked for the American Red Cross for a little bit and the Alzheimer's Association. And then I moved down here last year, about a year ago, and I knew I wanted to get back into working for a member-based nonprofit. And I found AFCEA, and I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's clear how great you are with people.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And what kind of skills did you find you built over the last couple of years working for nonprofit member-based organizations, I guess?
Yeah, I guess it would be the, face-to-face interactions. You're not just hiding behind a desk all day working on spreadsheets. You have to interact with people. So I think my personal skills in that way and dealing with people really developed over the past couple of years and just getting to know people, and everyone has a story to tell. So
Right, sure. And why is the Emerging Leaders program at AFCEA important?
Yes. I always say that the emerging leaders are so important because they are the future of AFCEA and the whole cybersecurity world. So it's so important that we foster and support them now in their early stages to help them, further in their career.
Right, I think it's unique that we're giving people under 40 a voice.
Yes.
I know, when I was that age, just trying to navigate your career and how to best harness organizations, membership organizations such as AFCEA. There's not a clear way to do that. So I'm glad that we have you as a resource. And kind of, what's your vision for the program?
Yeah.
What are you up to?
So, it might sound pretty basic, but it is just to kind of grow the program as a whole. So one thing that we're trying to work on is bring an Emerging Leader program to every single chapter and offer more benefits and kind of cater to all the different parts of the Emerging Leaders because it's broken up into 4 sections. You have your kids, your students, early career, and young professionals. So I want to kind of work more with everyone and kind of connect them all together.
Right, I love that kind of distinction that it's not just one set of emerging leaders. I hadn't really thought of that before. I know I've kind of most familiar with the young professionals, but I love that AFCEA, as part of our mission, is reaching out to even the different younger groups.
And if you, get the younger kids into AFCEA when they're, first in middle school or high school, they're going to know what it is by the time they're in college and be able to use the resources there and help them more throughout their career.
Right, sure. And AFCEA has a global reach.
Yes. So, it's crazy that you can, talk with people in Tokyo and in Germany, and you kind of all are on the same mission. Yeah.
Right. And I love that you're reaching out to help build up those programs. Can you talk about other things that you're working on right now?
Yeah. One thing that I'm very excited about that we're trying to get off the ground is Emerging Leader webinar. So it's going to be a webinar that's catered just for emerging leaders that get to connect with senior leaders, because oftentimes those young professionals don't get an opportunity to talk with senior leaders. So it's going to give them an avenue, just them, to reach out to those people.
Right. I love that this is your brainchild and you guys are building this new program, Emerging Leader webinars. And I know AFCEA has been a great resource for webinars in general. But what kind of topics or senior leaders do you envision happening?
So I kind of want it to be more like a mentoring thing. You can ask them questions of how did they get to where they are today? Because I think those are going to really help the younger people be like, well, how can I get to where I want to? So just, maybe an open forum where they can just feel comfortable talking to these people.
Right, sure. And how can people, let's go to the basics, how can people become a member of AFCEA, and then what do they need to do to align themselves, if they are under 40, and with the emerging leaders community?
Yeah. It's so easy to become an AFCEA member. I mean, you just go online, and you click join, and you can sign up right then and there. And then, to find your emerging leader community, you would go online, and it has a list of all the different chapters. And you can find which one is in your region. But also, I'm always happy to connect people with the right chapter or what chapter would be best for them. So people are more than welcome to reach out to me. My email is vsnell@afcea.org, so happy to help them.
Right, that's awesome. And then kind of as our liaison to the emerging leader community within the association, you're familiar with what a professional organization is and does, especially as part of the membership section of AFCEA. But what advice would you have for those under 40 who are looking to kind of navigate their careers, and what can a professional association help them with?
Absolutely. I think a lot of times people, they join a professional association and then that's it. They don't do anything. So I think the best advice is you get out of AFCEA what you put in it. I know everyone says that, but it really is true. And I think the best way for you, to get all the benefits is go to as many as in-person events as you can. Don't just be a member, get involved. See what different communities you could be a part of, and how you can help. That is really going to help you personally and professionally.
Right, sure. And each chapter has different events. I know some are doing mentoring, some are doing happy hours, but there's some great things that people can take advantage of.
Absolutely. There's more than just happy hours, I always say, because everyone knows the emerging leaders to go out and have a good time, but there's so much more. We do a lot with the local schools, other volunteer opportunities, and just different committees that people can join as well.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I've heard about one chapter doing kind of robotics, where they're getting emerging leaders to come in and help younger kids with their robotics programs.
Right.
A couple times during the year.
Yeah.
And then I know with our big events such as, TechNet Augusta or TechNet Cyber, there's events associated with that for emerging leaders. Anything kind of in your plans for 2024 or?
Yeah, so, we always have a panel at every one of our big conferences. And then West is our next one that's coming up. It's going to be in San Diego, and we have a ton of different emerging leader socials for people to join. And we will have a panel there, so that's super excited for. And just trying to get more panels and more social events out at every AFCEA conference.
Right, I think it's unusual, mostly if you go to conferences a lot like we do for a living, you'll see, more seasoned leaders at the podium speaking about their knowledge. But tell us a little bit about the panels that maybe you're working on, and how that's an opportunity maybe for people in the future.
Yeah, I think it's really awesome to see young people on the podium, and talking about things that are very important to them. And again, they are shaping the way the world is. So it's very important for us to hear from these young people. And I love the title Disruptive by Design, and I think that's great that, these young people, they're disruptive by design, but in the best way possible. So have one coming up in West. We just finalized our speakers, so we'll get that up on the website soon. Super excited for everyone to come. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. And then kind of anything else you're doing for 2024 that we should be on the lookout for?
Just look out for that webinar. Super excited about that. And actually have a meeting today with the advisory board to talk about further goals. So, we just started the new year, gonna plan everything out and look out for those updates.
Right, and I know one thing that that closed out the year for 2023 was the announcement of our Emerging Leader Awards.
Yes.
And then the other category, the Distinguished Young Professionals. Can you tell us about what those are, and then what people should look for that for the coming year?
Absolutely, yeah. So we just closed our, awards, and we just, we're going to give them out at West. So we know everyone that won. But I would definitely tell people to be on the lookout for, this year's awards and try to get nominated for those awards. And we give them out to people who excel both within AFCEA, but also in their careers as well. So make sure that you are getting yourself known. You're going out, you're making yourself known to those things, and hopefully everyone can be nominated for an award.
Right, sure. If you're already up to great things, let people know about it.
Absolutely.
You can, humble brag, so to speak, and then let your community know what you're up to. And Emerging Leaders Awards is a great way to do that.
Absolutely. And ask your local chapters, what else can I do to help? Get more involved on the local level, I think, is a huge part for people being nominated for the Distinguished Young Professional Award.
Right, sure. And I always love to ask people what they do outside of work, that work-life balance. What are some things that you do to kind of take your mind off of work or enrich your life in other ways?
Absolutely. So I do floral work for weddings on the side. It's so relaxing to me. And so usually, during the work week, I'm here, and then on the weekends, I'm off doing florals for weddings. So absolutely love that. It's a little bit of my creative outlet.
That's so cool. You must have an eye for design and colors and textures. And
I think so.
Yeah.
I'll have to
so
make
cool.
you a bouquet sometime.
Right. I might need help with my sad little plant over here. And then I know you give back to the community. What are your interests there, and maybe advice for people on how to get involved on that side?
Yeah, absolutely. So on the side, I work with a mission group in DC, and we go out to homeless camps all throughout the DC every weekend, and we just talk to them. We do, give them food and clothes, but a lot of times these people are just so lonely. And so we go and we talk to them and just give them that kind of outline, get to know them. Yeah, and I think it's really important just to kind of help them out instead of just like looking at them and being like, just turn the other way. So, yeah.
Right, sure. And for young people, maybe just try a way to give back to your community.
Absolutely.
And,
get out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah, that's great advice. And I know you're from upstate New York. I
Yes.
love hearing that. We were talking a little bit about football. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. But what do you love about upstate New York? And
yeah, I think upstate New York is beautiful. Virginia is great, but when I went home for the holidays, just the mountains, the skiing, the snow. If you don't like the cold, don't go to upstate New York. But and then one thing that I like that we don't really have here in Virginia, and it sounds crazy, it's this food called Speedies, and they're like these little chicken bites, and they're so good, and you put them on a sub, and amazing. So I miss that.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. In addition to the great wings that your part of the world offers people. And I love you're a family-based person. You're one of 9 kids.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yep, I still have a 4-year-old brother back home. So, yeah.
Oh, well, love that. And thanks for sharing your efforts with all of us.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you wanted to highlight?
I would just like to say my favorite part working at AFCEA is definitely the volunteers. I love hearing everyone's story. So please reach out to me, anyone. If you have any questions about the Emerging Leader Program or just want to know a little bit more, please reach out to me.
As you hear firsthand from Veronica, she's an amazing resource, and don't be shy.
Yes.
Well,
thank you so much.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Veronica.